What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel and the program. It's Francis and Delegate. So today, in fact, I still got no significantly or considerably particular to talk about, but I'd like to clarify a couple of things, and that includes which includes but are not limited to the optimal timing to make phone calls to anyone you care about, and making phone calls to someone whom you think might care about you. Well, in fact, to identify if someone truly cares about you, you can see if that person is willing or reluctant to answer your phone calls. And when I mention about phone calls, it can include but are not limited to Facebook voice call, Facebook video call, WhatsApp voice call, WhatsApp video call, Google Hangouts video call, voice call, etc. Previously, I have mentioned I mentioned about the MGTOW way of timing to make phone calls to anyone, to literally anyone that may relate to you. The person who makes the phone call to anybody you like to call. So in fact, today I also have got several plans in motion, in place to extract useful corporate intels and business information, various types of business opportunities. I still though I understand, I can feel that I have managed to gather some hands-on experiences dealing with people whom I don't know very well. I also believe that we need to actually categorize our contacts, our associates, the people we actually whom we are acquainted with. Basically, my categorizations, my classifications manifest as this. Category A, your very close friends, whom you know very well. It's actually quite easy to to build and continue and let that type of trust and intimate bonding continue and last. And you can. I'm not exactly to take advantage of that bond, but to make full use of that bond. You can basically use a simple phone call to get your teammates, your squad mates, your close friends to work together with you on a particular project or task. Usually, I'd say at the event of emergency, at the event of urgent affairs, it's always the best to call someone, to ring someone, no matter Facebook voice call, video call, as long as you call, as long as you guys start to exchange voices, to exchange ideas, conceptualize conceptions via by the exchange of voices. It almost always tends to prove quite efficient and useful. And then on the other hand, category B contacts are those that are whom you don't know very well, but you actually have had several intimate contacts. Not lots of, but let's say last time I made a video regarding social engineering in practice. I actually I asked those questions on behalf of a friend of mine, who are in need of a IT job in Australia, and who are in need of getting some work visa sponsorship, in particular subclass 457. Yes, in fact, that is true, and I myself do need that, and I also have a couple of acquaintances who also need that type of sponsorship. So it wasn't entirely a lie, or fleecing. Sorry, not exactly a fleecing, or stealthy engagement. Yes, I'd say that. I'd call it not exactly an infiltration or a stealthy engagement. So that's category B. What about category C? To those people whom you have absolutely no idea how they tend to behave and how they tend to react and to respond to the stimuli and the information you inject into them. In fact, we can by first how we can make contacts with this particular category of contacts or people. We can first see if there are something in common between you and those people from that particular category, which is category C. Yeah. Let's say I have a web page. I have a website, and it's hosted by HostPop. So I made some contacts with them, and in the name of technical issues. Well, but in fact, I did encounter some technical issues, and it was over spans actually flooded. It overwhelmed the ordinary workload of those servers. So I made contacts with HostPapa for the first time due to the fact that I got some spans trouble, and I began to make some subsequent phone calls, asking some other technical and technical questions, and questions relating to HR, human resources, and the workflow, the task allocation, some kind of sensitive information of that company named HostPapa. Yeah, so actually I also do plan to call them again before Christmas hits. I still haven't think of those questions I should be asking them, but nevertheless, I do expect I can manage to achieve some success in ringing them sometime before Christmas hits. Okay, so if you ask me if there is such category as category D, to those people who you have had absolutely no previous contacts, absolutely no previous engagement or ties, in other words, completely strangers and completely strangers. Yeah, actually I did, I did make my contacts with Atlassian, though I am not actually a paid customer of Atlassian. In fact, a friend of mine, he gave me a Atlassian account to facilitate our co-work and co-development on certain developmental projects. I tried to make contact with them. I have yet received a answer provided by real human being. It's just about everything was just about automated telephone attendance system. Everything seems to be served and catered completely by those automated system. But I'm gonna keep trying that, and I would also like to make a phone call to their branch office in Yokohama, a major and a large Japanese metropolitan city named Yokohama. Someday, yeah, also in order to practice my Japanese, I do intend to do that, and I think it will be a must if my current circumstances really necessitate this phone call to happen. So I hope I have gave you some ideas on on how not to get too nervous and get too anxious of making phone calls to various type of contacts, various types of people. And one last but not least, even if you are trying, let's say if you were to make a phone call to someone whom you completely have no idea how he or she respond to your questions, you can first get in touch with that particular person's other associate that you may or may not know. At least you will have some slightly more peace of mind. That you will be speaking to someone kind and generous enough to answer your questions promptly and proactively. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this sudden video clip I just made. So thank you again for watching and listening. I'm your host, Francis and Ed. Stay tuned for my next video, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye. God bless. Stay awesome.